Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? Do you have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
How can you find a reliable source of CBD products? Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit.
Good evening. Good evening. We're back again on Ask Coach Roy. We have a great show for you this evening. As a matter of fact, it's part 2. Understanding credit, credit repair, and the 3 credit bureaus. Tonight, I have a lot of great information for you to help you really understand this thing called credit. A lot of people don't quite understand. They just know they go and apply for it, they say yes or no. But I always tell people you need to know what your score is and what the creditor is looking for prior to even making the application. And in some instances, you may need to go to your personal credit union or bank to get to get qualified and get a check and bring it and buy the product. So we're going to start off the day by talking about what is credit. Do you really know? Well, what credit is when you receive money, goods or services promising to pay in the future. And credit has gotten to the point that we finance everything: houses, cars, computers, kitchen equipment, washers, dryers, so on and so forth. So the first thing we need to know is, what is credit? Credit is basically you receiving those goods and services with payment arrangements that you're going to pay. Well, what that brings on is something called a credit score. Some people call it Fico score, some people call it the Beacon score. Well, that score is a 3-digit score. And that 3-digit score is derived by the creditors reporting to the credit bureau. And as they report to the credit bureau, it determines your credit worthiness. And then depending on how long you've been paying for an item, how many items you have, how old you are, and quite a few more factors, they come up with a score. That score ranges from 300 to 850. A lot of times in today's economy, a 670 is considered bad credit, believe it or not. So you have to be very careful about paying your bills on time, at least within the first 30 days. A lot of times people think because your payment is due on the 1st, your creditor start calling on the 10th. And they call and they send notices, and you're thinking that, oh, I got bad credit. Well, as long as you make that payment by the 29th so that it can process for the 30th, it won't show up on your credit report. However, if you went to that lender direct to get more money or get a credit card limit raise or whatever the case may be, they may tell you, oh no, you don't have good enough credit for that. They may deny you. But they're only denying you because they see that you're struggling to make the payment. So you're technically late, but when you pay after the 10th, you're paying a late payment fee and so on and so forth. So they're actually making money off of you when you pay after the 10th. So the next thing is, what is a good credit score? Well, generally speaking, a good credit score is anything above 670. Like I told you, a 670 is considered bad credit. So anything above a 670 is considered good credit. Okay? So at this point, I would like my viewers, anyone have any questions, please call in, because I don't want to get too far in and have to go back and answer a question that I've already talked about. So please give me a call. And then the next thing we want to look at, what hurts my credit score? Well, we automatically know that not paying your bills on time hurts your credit score. We also know that if you file a bankruptcy, it hurts your credit score. We also know that applying for too much credit or too many inquiries hurts your credit score. Another thing that people is unaware of is carrying a high balance on your credit cards affect your credit score, as well as ignoring notices that are sent to you, because sometimes creditors send incorrect information or send notices and you've already paid. And you have to call and correct that stuff because it will impact your score. So let's go back to carrying high balances on credit card. I think this is a common problem. A lot of times, a lot of my clients, they have, say, a $5,000 or $10,000 limit on a credit card. And normally they run the card up to $7,000 or $8,000 or $9,000, and at the end of the month they pay it off. So in their mind, that's good. But in all actuality, they did not realize that you have to look at your payment date. In other words, if your payment is due on the 10th of the month, then the credit card company processes whether you paid or hadn't paid on the 10th, whatever the case may be. Well, if you're paying that card off at the end of the month based on your money coming in on the 1st, the 15th, and the 30th, and you got a system where you're going to pay it off, you're paying it, you free up your line of credit. However, in terms of your Beacon score, Fico score, or whatever you want to refer to it as, it's suppressing your credit score because your limit is $10,000 and you have a high credit at that point of $9,000. So now you're more than 30% of your limit. So you have to understand the 30% rule. At the time that your bill is due, 2 days prior to, you need to pay that $9,000 down to $3,000 so that when they process your account on the 10th, between the 10th and the 17th, that's when it's going to affect your score. So that keeps your score from being suppressed based on having your balance too high on your credit cards. That's a little something that most people don't know. So in addition to your filing bankruptcy, also if you get in a lot of the companies that advertise that they can work something out with your credit, and they basically take and make an arrangement with your creditors to pay them a smaller percentage of the money so that they can help you get your monthly debts down. And that works in terms of getting your monthly debt down, but the credit card company is still reporting you as a bad rating because you're not paying them on time and you're not paying their interest. You're paying a partial payment to all of your creditors when you make those settlement arrangements. So that messes your credit up as well. Okay, another thing people always ask me, how can I improve my credit? Okay, well, what you have to understand is that there are 5 main categories that affect your credit report. And that's your payment history, your credit usage, your credit age, your credit mix, and recent credit. Your payment history is the biggest factor on the list. Let's get this call. We got a caller. Hello. Oh, I was too late. Just trying to finish that little statement there about what impacts your credit score. More importantly, your payment history is the biggest factor out of those 5 items that affect your score. Call back in. That number is 770-485-7724. Again, tonight we're dealing with understanding credit, credit repair, and the credit bureaus. And we're currently on this section about understanding credit. Okay? So the next question that I'm always asked is, why do I have more than one credit score? The reason you have more than one credit score is because you have 3 credit bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Those are the three major bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Each of them carry a score. In most instances, those scores are different. Why are they different? They're different because lenders don't report to all three. Some lenders report to all three, some report to two, some report to one. So with that being said, remember how long you've had items in that bureau, the balances, the high credit, and how many inquiries you've had, because when you go to apply for something and they pull your credit, it doesn't necessarily mean that they pulled from all three. So therefore, your scores are the credit bureaus are impacted differently, and that's why you have different scores, okay? Another question here is, how high can my score go and how low? Well, earlier I stated that your credit score ranges from 350 to 850. So anywhere in between 350 and 850. What are the three credit bureaus? As I stated earlier, the three credit bureaus is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Some of these questions, you notice I have my computer tonight because I'm looking at questions that are being sent in to me, okay? What is a credit bureau? Essentially, a credit bureau is a company that tracks your ability to pay. They collect information relating to how you pay from creditors. And from there, they rate you based on an algorithm that they have and based on all the different factors, the 5 factors I stated earlier. So that's what the credit bureau is and what the credit bureau do. It says, how do I know what my credit score is? Okay, there are plenty of services that provides your credit score. My favorite is creditchecktotal.com. Of course, you got Equifax.com. You got Experian.com and TransUnion.com. You got annualcreditreport.com. You got Credit Sesame. You have, I can't even think all of them right now, but you have a lot of different ways. Some of your credit card companies will provide you with a credit monitoring service. The only thing with that, though, is they only provide you with one of the 3 bureaus. So some of your credit card services and credit unions provide you with the monitoring service. Okay. What's on my credit report? Woo! Your credit report contains a lot. And that's one of the things you would be able to buy a la carte from coach-roy.com. It will break down the credit report and show you how to read your credit report. So the credit report contains, what was the question? What was contained? Okay. It's identifying information, trade lines, credit limits, accounts names, credit history, credit inquiries, public records, collections, late payments, and of course your credit score, okay? We'll be right back with you in a few minutes, and at that time, we're gonna continue with some questions. And please call in, 770-485-7724. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome back to Ask Coach Roy. We have a call on the line, Mr. West. Mr. West, what's your question you have for us today?
I was just looking to see how to get negative credit off my credit history.
Negative credit off your credit history.
Yes, like bad credit, like to fix my credit is what I'm asking.
Okay, and you want to know what is the process or what?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the process.
Well, what we're doing here, we're teaching you and providing you with the tools to do it yourself. You're going to be able to go to coach-roy.com, a la carte, and purchase what you need for your particular situation. But what you're going to learn to do, you're going to learn how to read the credit report, understand the credit report, and the items that's on your credit that's not yours are incorrect. You're going to have the tools to be able to dispute them. Now,
okay.
The key to that is, based on the Fair Credit Reporting Act, there are things that the lender can't provide to the bureau, and in turn, the bureau has to remove. That's the basic concept of credit repair. But we have a little more in-depth information and that you'll receive when you go to coach-roy.com. But that is the basic concept of credit repair, and anything that's not yours can be removed, and anything that they can't prove is yours can be removed.
Okay. And one more thing. How many, now, with my credit history, my credit score, what's the difference between the different credit reports?
You mean that, like Experian, TransUnion,
right.
and Equifax?
Correct.
Okay. Well, the difference is, in last week's show, I explained the different regions that they are in. In Atlanta, there's Equifax. TransUnion is in Chester, Pennsylvania, and Experian is in Texas. However, they are three separate companies. Let's be clear. They are three separate companies. They have three different processes. And creditors become members of all three, or one or two, or they are members of all three and they report to one. But they may pull all three to determine your credit worthiness. But the ones that they report to, what if you have a Capital One and they report to Equifax and they don't report to Experian and TransUnion? But you also have an American Express that reports to Experian and TransUnion, and then you have a account with Ford Motor Credit that reports to all three, and then you may have a furniture bill that reports to Experian, and you may have another bill that only reports to TransUnion. Well, remember earlier I explained the credit bureau comes up with a score based on credit limits, how long you've had accounts, how long you've been in the credit bureau, how many inquiries on each different bureau. So that's why you could end up with three different scores.
Right.
That makes sense to you?
I understand now. Yeah, I understand now.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Okay then, thank you for the call.
All right, no problem. Have a great day.
You too. Okay. That was some good questions. And I'm going to tell you one thing about that, it's really hard to determine a score. So that's why you have to go to one of the monitoring services and pull your credit. And a lot of people get Credit Karma. And the reason they get Credit Karma is because it's free. But Credit Karma is no good. Let's get this next caller. Hello, Ask Coach Roy, may I help you?
Hi, Coach. I've got a question. So, can you tell me the difference between a soft pull and a hard pull?
Oh, you're technical. Okay, a soft pull and a hard pull. Okay, let's see the best way to explain that. A lot of you who have multiple credit cards, I don't know if you've ever paid any attention. Sometimes they will ask you for limited information and they won't ask for your whole social. And they will tell you that it won't impact your score. That is a soft pull. A hard pull is when you actually apply for something. You fill out the complete application. You give them your full name, your address, your date of birth, your social security number. And they pull. That is a hard pull. And that would be an inquiry that's on your credit report, and it's going to impact your score anywhere from 5 to 15 points. Does that help you, ma'am?
It does. So I got another question. So if I was applying for car insurance, say with Allstate, I understand they do like a soft pull.
Correct. So that wouldn't affect your score.
Gotcha. All right, wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Okay, and Carla, is this Ms. Dawn?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. What I wanted to harp on is Credit Karma. Most people get Credit Karma because it's free. But when you're trying to do a transaction, whether you're trying to purchase a home, a car, or whatever the case may be, you may find that Credit Karma isn't as accurate. It's a free monitoring service. It'll give you some idea of where you are, but it could be anywhere from 30 to 50 points off. And so I always recommend, if you just want to see your credit, get a free credit report, go to annualcreditreport.com and you get a free credit report there. But it's best to get a monitoring service. And when you get the monitoring service, normally it's going to pull one report, whether you get it from transunion.com, creditchecktotal.com, or Experian.com, or Equifax.com. Once you get the report, once you pull, then you're going to have to go in and ask for a tri-merge. At that time, they could charge you anywhere from $15 to $37 for that tri-merge. But you want the tri-merge, because what it's going to do, it's going to show you all three scores. But more importantly, it's going to give you a summary of all the accounts. And if you take and match them up, you can see which accounts is on which bureaus. And at a later date, or once you get our information, you will understand how that can work to your advantage as well. Okay, so we're going to move on to another question here that I had. What age should credit be? What score do I need? Okay, this one says, what age should credit be? Okay, how long you have access to credit can affect your score, but there's no specific age for your credit. Let's get this call. Welcome to Ask Coach Roy, caller. What's your name?
Okay. This one says, what?
Excuse me?
It can affect your score, but there's no specific age.
For some reason, I can't hardly hear you. Could you say that again, sir? Caller. Hello? Caller, try and call back in. I don't know what caused that. Sound like you were on a computer or something. Okay. Another common question is, what score do I need to get a house? Okay. There are many factors that go into being approved for a mortgage. But you'll need at least a 600 score. Now, we got a, you notice on commercial, you will see Juanita Bradford with Bradford Realty. That's a question that you could actually give her a call. So make sure you jot her number down if you want an in-depth, and she's one of the sponsors of the show and very knowledgeable. Okay. But I'd say a 600. But just score doesn't get you a house. It's a lot of other factors. Debt to income ratio, and that means what bills you have going out in comparison to what's coming in. And FHA is 29 and 41%. 29% of your monthly bills can be your mortgage payment. But with your other debt, it can't exceed 41%. But that's a whole nother show. Okay. What score do I need to get a personal loan? Well, that depends on a lot. You can get a personal loan with a 500 score, assuming you don't mind paying 29% or 30%. Then you have lenders like, trying to think of one in particular, One Main. It's not based on your credit score. They have some other system that determines. So you could actually get a loan with a 500 score. And then you have companies like Grain that will give you a line of credit based on your checking account. And how that works or how they come up with the amount, I don't know. But they don't even take your Social Security number. Okay? Of course, we've somewhat answered this one earlier. What is a Fico score? And we know that it's a 3-digit number that's determined by information on your credit report. Considering your score is under 30% of your credit limit, okay, all that helps affect the lending decisions. Okay, and another one, someone sent in and says, how do I get my free credit report? Well, there are several different ways, but going with annualcreditreport.com, and also you could actually call. You could call 877-322-8228 is the number. I think that's right. I kind of did that one off the top of my head. Okay, so with that being said, that's dealing with credit, understanding credit. I hope you gain a lot of knowledge from that section of understanding credit. And we're going to take a short break. And at that time, we're going to come back over and deal with the credit repair. right, welcome back, welcome back. We just getting, the show just getting good. We're gonna move on to credit repair, understanding credit repair. We have a call on the line. Ms. Juanita is on the line with Bradford Realty. Ms. Juanita, could you ask that question again?
So my question was, should you pay your credit card twice a month in order to get your score to increase? And with you paying it twice a month, is it going to report once or is it going to report twice?
Okay, that's almost a three-part answer, but I'm gonna give you the basic answer and then I'm gonna try to come back and clean it up. The basic answer is, if you do that, it will increase your score. However, you need to concentrate on that due date. You need to do it twice before the due date. And in addition to that, if the due date is on the 10th and you do it on the 5th and you do it on the 20th, then the one you did on the 20th won't help you by the 10th payday. Now, the other thing is, will they report every time you pay? There are some isolated situations where some companies will pay every time you pay. But let me tell you the flip side to some of this. There are companies, I want all of you to get your free credit report from annualcreditreport.com with showing all three bureaus. I want you to pay attention to the pay date, and I want you to look into the payment history, because the payment history will show you how often they report. You will find that some of your creditors don't even report every month. Believe it or not.
And you can get that report, right, twice a year from Georgia for free, or is it once?
Once a year, but I would have to check into whether Georgia allow you to get it twice. I know once a year.
Okay.
And again, if you have credit cards, some of your credit cards come with free monitoring services. So you can look at it on there as well.
And again, earlier you said that one that you like the most that is kind of more beneficial is
creditchecktotal.com. Because what I've found is creditchecktotal.com, they need to pay for an ad the way I'm talking about them. but creditchecktotal.com, based on my 30-something years of dealing with this credit stuff and the Beacon score coming around probably in 92, what I've realized is Credit Check Total is the closest to the bureau as I've found. A lot of time it'd be right on the money.
And My Fico, I think that was a good one too.
Which one?
My Fico.
Yeah, My Fico is good. It's just that you won't get all three bureaus.
Okay, that's when you have to do the merge that you.
Yes, and then of course Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, all of them have their own, but you can buy the additional one. Wherein, if you want to see all three, Credit Check Total is cheaper, and you get it right out the gate when you first apply.
Okay, and then Ms. Wilkerson was asking you to elaborate more on that. When you said, like, if you have a debt that's $9,000, but you pay $6,000, you have a balance of $3,000 left, but you do it before the due date. She was asking you to elaborate on that a little bit more to see how we can understand how to building your score more.
Well, what happens is, this is the key to credit that I think we need to understand. Anytime you have a line of credit, credit card debt, that's unsecured credit, meaning it's not attached to anything. If let's say you have a $50,000 line of credit or $200,000 line of credit, and you've only used $10,000. You have 7 or 8 credit cards, and they have $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 limits. And some of them you don't use, you just use just enough to keep them open. And you may have $3,000 on one, $5,000 on another. you got over $300,000 of unsecured credit and you're not using it. So that means in the eyes of corporate America, that means that you don't have any cash flow problems. So the credit bureaus reward you for that. So that's why if you got a $10,000 card, at the time of reporting, you want to have it 30% or less, and that rises your score.
Okay. So anything under 30% kind of helps you get your score up, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. And if you apply for more credit, they won't be hesitant to give it to you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Coach Roy.
Okay. Thank you for the call, Nita.
Bye-bye.
All right. Okay. We're going to move over to credit repair a little bit more about credit repair. And what is credit repair? I'm going to give you the technical definition. Credit repair is the process of addressing any questionable negative items that could be hurting your credit file. If the bureaus and your creditors can't verify these items are fair, accurate, they are required to remove them. Also, a lot of times, you got to remember the credit bureau is really a third party. So they're not who you're dealing business with anyway. Okay, so always remember that. Another good question someone sent in to me, it says, can bad credit be corrected or deleted? Yes, according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the law entitles you to an accurate and fair credit profile. If something on your credit profile isn't correct, you can correct or repair it with the correct bureaus or dealing with your creditor direct. Okay? That's the type of stuff that you're going to find when you go to coach-roy.com, and you're going to be able to understand and be able to repair your own credit. Okay? How long does credit repair take? That's a tough one. Okay? You really can't say to a certain extent, but with the techniques and tools that we have, you could probably do it in 60 to 90 days yourself. But it's a lot of factors play into that. Like, for instance, have you made payment arrangements with the company, gave them your checking account, and it was being drafted out of your account, and all of a sudden you stop? How long ago was that? In addition to that, when was the last time you spoke with them about the situation? Did you make it clear to them that it wasn't your account? It's a lot of factors play into that. In addition to that, how long ago did these credit issues come about? Was it last month, 2 months, 6 months, 9 months ago, a year ago? All of those are factors, because negative information will sit on your credit report 7 years from the last date of activity. Okay, now keywords: last date of activity. Not looking at your credit report and saying, oh, I got this account in 2015 or 2014, it's 2021, it should be gone. Your last activity with them could have been October 2020. So now we're looking at 2027. Then, depending on the situation, they have the ability to update that file, and what should have been 7 years from last date of activity could be an additional 3, 4 more years. So there's a lot play into that, okay? Another question is credit repair expensive? It depends on how you look at it. If I do your credit, I'm gonna charge you $4,500. You may see a sign on the side of the road say $300. Somebody else may charge $500. You could do it, get the do-it-yourself package, do it yourself, and then create your own credit repair company and make money from this business. But let's start at $4,500. This is what I tell clients. Okay, you think that's too high, but you're getting ready to purchase a car. They want $5,000 down, and your interest rate gonna be 20-something%. And the same Honda Accord that someone is paying $400 or $500, let's say $450 a month for, you paying $700. So you paying, let's say you paying $650. You paying $200 a month more for the same car that someone is paying $450. Well, at the end of 12 months, that's what, $2,400? 2 years, that's $4,800. And you can do the math and keep going forward. But think about it. That's just that one credit item. Well, in addition to that, you may have financed some furniture. There's several other things. You may even have a high risk credit card that you're paying 30-something% interest on. So in 12 months, you probably paid in interest way more than the $4,500 that you would have paid me. But have you paid the $4,500? Now your car payment $450. So in what, 2 years, that got you your $4,500 back. But in addition to that, you just went from a third-class citizen to a first-class citizen again. You're getting credit card offers in the mail. Anything that you need to do, you can sign. If you got a child going to college and they need a Parent Plus loan, you can sign. If you need to get them a little small car and pay it back off, it's just so much you can do when you get back into first-class citizenship. Okay, so credit repair, to me, if you've messed up your credit, any price is a good price as far as I'm concerned, as long as they can repair it. One person sent in, can they repair their credit on their own? Of course you can, and that's what we're trying to teach you. Okay, you just need to contact the bureaus, contact the creditors. You need to understand the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and you need to understand different things with the Federal Trade Commission. Yes, you can repair your credit, but you're going to need some assistance. And then even after you buy the credit system a la carte, if you still need assistance, you'll still be able to contact me, and I will coach you for $1,000. It's easy. It's too easy. This credit stuff is too easy. There's no reason for you to be walking around with bad credit, don't own a home, driving a hoopty, okay? Is credit repair legal? Now that's a good one. Of course credit repair is legal. You think I'd be streaming live, no telling who's watching this, and it's illegal? As well as you have the right to dispute your credit. You have the right to fair and accurate information on your credit profile. Credit repair is one of the ways that really help you get there. Okay, what are credit removals? Credit removals, again, is just simply removing negative, inaccurate, and items that can't be proven from your credit profile. That's all credit removals are. Okay. Some of these questions are somewhat redundant because they have sent me here. What can be removed from my credit report? Anything inaccurate, unfair, unverified can be challenged with the bureaus and your creditors. This includes collections, late payments, bankruptcy, involuntary repossessions, and repossessions in general. Okay. A negative item. What is a negative item? A negative item is anything in your credit history that lowers your score is a negative item. Hello, caller. Welcome to Ask Coach Roy. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Welcome to Ask Coach Roy.
I have a question as far as can you hear me?
Yes.
I have a question as far as hold on one second. Can you hear me? Yes. I have a question. Okay, my question is when you have a teenager, and how soon should you be getting them credit or applying for credit for a youngster?
Good question. I think when your child reaches 16 years old, you need to add them to a couple of your credit cards. And then it's up to you whether or not you actually physically give them the card when it comes to your house. And you also have the option of telling the credit bureau not to even send a card. Telling the creditor, not to even send a card. I think it's good at about 16 to add them to your cards. And I
have a couple of kids, and so the first one I messed up. The reason I'm asking, I messed up and I did not do that. I thought it wasn't a good thing. So when they got ready to apply for the apartment, they didn't have any credit.
Correct.
I'm not trying to make that same mistake with another teen.
Well, I would do it at 16, and also depending on where you are or whether your child is going to college. And this is why I always say 16, because normally they're in the 10th grade, 11th grade, somewhere in there. But then you make a decision based on the child, whether they're going to go to college or not. I tell parents, if they're not going to get an athletic scholarship or a full ride academic or what have you, and regardless of those two, at 16, you piggyback them on your credit cards. That last year, don't carry them on those taxes. Now, what that does, that allows you to skirt around that Parent Plus loan, and they will be able to get the loan themselves. So I know you didn't ask for that one, but I had to give it to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, caller. Okay. We're going to be right back, and we're going to close with a few more pointers, and thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. We have about 10 minutes left in the show. So I want to highlight a couple of areas that I think is important. First of all, it was a question that came in that says, how much does a negative item affect my score? Negative items impact your score, such as a late payment. A late payment can be up to 110 points. A debt settlement could be up to 125 points. Foreclosure could be up to 160 points. Bankruptcy can be up to 240 points. A collection could be up to 110 points, and a hard inquiry can be up to 15 points. So there are some key things there to help you understand how much a negative item can affect your score. Can deleted items come back? Yes, they can, because your creditor can report them. And then you would just simply send your paperwork again and send it to the bureau, and then that's when you get more technical and start using some other language from the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and it won't come back anymore. How long do negative items stay on a credit report forever? No, it's 7 years from the date of last activity. Okay. One of the other things one person put in, could divorce hurt my credit score? It depends on how you and your spouse have your accounts and whether you have joint accounts and things of that nature. So yes, I guess would be the easy answer. Another one said, can medical bills? Yes, medical bills can hurt your score if they're unpaid and they sent to a collection agency. But sometimes if you can talk to the collection agency, if you're paying it or making arrangements, you get them to send a letter saying you'll pay 50 cents on the dollar or 25 cents on the dollar, and they're going to remove it or they're not going to place it on your credit, and you get that in writing. Okay? Can student loans hurt my credit score? Yes, but the reality is student loans can help your credit score, because as long as you are in school and you have your you have the your forbearance agreement up until 6 months after you complete school or whatever the case may be. So while you're in school, that's what I like to call an inflated score. A lot of times you have young people that's in college that have a 700 score. But the only reason they have a 700 score is because they have student loans and they're showing as good credit because they don't have to pay them at the time. Okay. Another one question I thought was a good question. It says, what laws protect my credit? Well, the laws that protect your credit is the laws that we mostly use. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Credit Repair Organization Act, and you have the Fair, I said the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Okay, so those are the two that we commonly use. Another question came in was, when should I start repairing my credit? On average, I would say 6 months after you've had your situation that's not good. It says, can I stop paying my bills after a negative questionable item was removed? Well, if it was removed and they're still sending you letters, then you don't have to pay that per bill because it's not on your credit report. I've seen some strange things where people challenge a negative item on their home loan. And then ultimately, that home loan gets removed from the credit file and they continue paying it, but it don't show up on their credit. So I've seen those strange things too. Another person put, will paying my bills restore my credit? Depending on who you talk to. You might think so, but unfortunately it does not. When you pay an old debt, the negative credit item, it don't disappear. It stays on your credit report. And typically it's listed as a delinquency, or it may be a charge-off or a collection. So now it just become a paid off, charge-off, paid off collection, or whatever the case may be. Okay, we have time for one more call. If you can get it in, caller, 770-485-7724. Okay, and I think the main thing that we have to understand is that the credit bureau is a third party. They was not there when you signed the dotted line or when you did the agreement online. So at the end of the day, the burden of proof is on them that it is you. Thank y'all very much for another session of Ask Coach Roy. Depending on what type of response I get, I may do a part 3 because there's still some things I weren't able to get to. But thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.